All right, folks, welcome back. We're going to get right into week 8 picks. I'm not going to lie, guys. This is not where I shine. For years I could not figure it out. I got all this knowledge. My friends use it. They can bet on it. For some reason, I can't make a dime doing it. The guys that are really good at this, figuring out the spreads, you guys amaze me. Uh, but there's only one way to get better, and that's to continue to pick. So here we go. So the Rams and Vikings game, I'm not going to count because I picked the Rams, but I only picked the Rams because I found out Puka was playing. But I didn't find out till 5 minutes before the game. I don't think a lot of people out there in betting land had that information. I will say that at least twice on that day, I heard somebody say that he possibly could play. So it was out there. But not only did he play, Puka, whew, man, you know, for one thing, you're huge. I had no idea you were that big. Another thing, you changed that whole offense. Completely different. I've seen you guys play like 3 or 4 times this year, and with you in the system, just opens up everything else. The running game was that back, yeah, just incredible. Just a really good game by the Rams, and I'm not surprised because the Vikings played the Lions, and look at what has happened after every team has played the Lions. I've been saying that for since week 3. I know that Shefty came out and said it this week. I love Shefty, but I've been on this since week 3. They tear teams apart. The next week, they're just sore. They're not ready to play. So I'm not surprised on the outcome there. But Puka, for all the catches, again, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, I forget what it was. You didn't just block, you crushed the guy. I mean, just amazing. Just an amazing player. So we're not going to count that game, guys. I'm only at 60% for the year. So I suck. So do not bet on these. I'm just trying to get better. Let's go to the Ravens Browns. Ravens are one of 2 to 3 best teams in the NFL. If there is any weakness, it's a little bit on defense and not much. Their offense is dynamic. Lamar, there's no more words, really. And I had no idea the back was going to be this good. I really didn't. Henry, you are the man. And once you get up to speed, pretty much unstoppable. This team is the top team in the AFC, as far as I'm concerned. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. That's the thing. We're all fighting to get through the Chiefs. All right, let's go. So I took the Ravens at uh, given 8.5. So Eagles, Bengals. Bengals are given 3. Taking the Bengals, even though I just heard T. Higgins is out. I believe this is a must win for these guys. They can't slip back too much farther. The run has to start here. I am not as impressed with the Eagles as everybody else is. So maybe I need to watch more football on them. I don't know, but it just every time I see him, something's missing. I just can't put my finger on it. All right, so we'll go Falcons, Tampa Bay. Falcons are giving, or Tampa Bay is giving 2.5 points. I'm going to take the Falcons. I just think Tampa Bay's receiver situation right now, man, that sucks. I mean, with 45 seconds to go, I mean, I still go back and, but what are you going to do? I mean, but they're so injured. This is more of a gut feeling. And like I said, this is not my forte here, guys. Okay, Green Bay Jags. I do expect the Jags to play better. But I got Green Bay as one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. I have since the beginning of the year. In my division, my whole division is just crazy. But the Packers, from their defense, is impressive. Love, yeah, he throws some interceptions, but that team all the way around, the way they're put together, similar to the Lions. And like I said, I think in the upcoming years, the Lions and Green Bay are going to be the cream of the crop in the NFL. I just do, the way they're built. how young they are. So I got Green Bay, and they're getting four. They're given 4 points. So the Lions are given 12 and a half. That is a huge, huge. That's the biggest one I remember for a long, long time. Would have to go back to early 90s, I would guess. I don't know if they'll cover. I'm picking them to cover. But I just want them to continue looking like the team they are. And we do not have JMO this week. Now, JMO, I have talked numerous times on this program, and you're one of my favorite players on the team, in the league. I've loved you since you came in. It's not just how dynamic you are, it's all the little things. But you got to stop being a distraction. I'm not saying guilt, anything. Doesn't really matter. It's a 2-game suspension. But this is another year where you've become a distraction. And good teams don't have that. You got to figure out a way where that's not you. So I love you to death. We'll get through this, but again, we got to play a couple games without you. I would take these 2 games and get as healthy as you can if you have any nicks and come back fresh. And maybe that'll help us in the end, but you're a big part of what we're trying to do here, and that's win a Super Bowl. Come on, Jamo. All right, let's go to Colts and Texans. Now, I'm taking the Colts because this is their last shot. They're actually in the playoffs right now. They're a decent team, but they're going up against their nemesis. And the Texans are it's -5 for the Texans. Texans are the better team. But I just have a feeling that if the Colts are going to make a run at all, it's going to have to start today, and they're going to have to prove that they can compete against this Texans team. Because I believe that you're going to have to win the division probably to get into the playoffs. So, big game for them. Like I said, they're in the playoffs right now. I'll take the Colts. Cards in Miami. I am a Tua fan. And especially now. It takes a lot of guts to do what he's doing. And I applaud him for it. I know a lot of people are concerned. But Miami's a different team with him on the field. Now, Miami is, the Cardinals are given 4 points. But I'm still taking Miami with the -4. I just believe not only that, the hype of him coming back, sometimes one player does change how other players play on that field. And looking forward to seeing what happens today. Would not be surprised at all if they went off for like 35, 40 points. All right, Jets and Pats. So if you've heard me on the last few takes, I am rooting for Aaron Rodgers this year. 2-5 is pretty hard to come back from. I've always thought with Aaron Rodgers it was going to be a 2-year plan anyways. But if they're going to change it around, they're going to have to change it around now. And this is the perfect team to do it against. Now, the Jets are given 7 points to the Pats. That's a lot. And the Pats are playing at home. But something happened this week. Gerard Mayo. Now, Rex Ryan kind of stole my thunder this morning. And I agree with him 100%. This is on the coach. So when a coach comes out and calls his players soft, I'm going to take it a step farther. Gerard Mayo had the easiest coaching job in all of football this year. I'll tell you why. They were predicted to finish last at the beginning of the season. All you had to do was steer this in the right direction. Do better than you were supposed to. Not get to week 7 and start calling your players out for being soft. I don't know. I put it this way. So Dan Campbell would never do this. You know why? Because he would fire himself before he came out and said something like that to his players. because he's going to know straight off the bat that soft players are his fault. Your soft players are your fault. And now you're throwing your organization under the bus because you're saying, so the players you gave me or the players that we got are soft. I don't know. Something's got to change, otherwise you're not going to be there. Seriously. Now, I have nothing against the Pats. I expect them to play. This is what scares me. I'm rooting for the Jets. I would imagine those players are going to play their ass off today because soft is not a word you want to hear. But if you're going to do that in the locker room, man. There's no business. We don't need to hear your dirty laundry. We just don't. All right, Bills Seahawks. So the Bills are given 3 points. Seahawks are at home, 12-man. Bills just, again, them and the Eagles. Every time I watch them, great team. Eagles are a good team, but I swear there's something missing. It's just like I'm watching them, I'm going, they do not match up well with the Ravens. They do not match up well with the Lions. They do not match up well with the Packers. I'm going to throw the 49ers into that because of a healthy 49ers team, and we're having another team to talk about in the NFL. So it's matchups, and I just believe there's certain teams out there that the Bills would not be able to beat. With that being said, I am taking them, and they have a good enough team to prove me wrong, that's for sure. All right, let's go to Saints Chargers. Chargers are giving. I don't know how you read this. So basically, it's -7 for the Chargers. Yeah, the Saints, yeah. I took the Chargers. That's a big point difference, especially for a team that seems to kick more field goals than they do score touchdowns. But I believe in Harbaugh. I believe them being at home, and I believe the Saints are so decimated that they're starting to look towards next year. Just too many injuries. Man, there's injuries everywhere. Injuries suck. But I will take the Chargers in that one. Chiefs, Raiders. Okay, so the Raiders are the last team to beat them last Christmas. 9.5 points. So the Chiefs are -9.5. Again, that's a lot. They don't cover a lot. But man, these Raiders do not look good. I see a rebuild. I don't see another way around it. And I just think, yeah, they need a quarterback. You know, I really didn't think Dak was going to sign for the Cowboys this year. I actually, in my mind, had him going through this year, not getting signed, being a free agent, and the Raiders being that free agent market. I don't know why. He just seems the way they want to play football, long ball, and Dak made sense to me. Well, that didn't happen. So they'll be looking. I don't even know what direction the Raiders should go in. I really don't. So I'll take the Chiefs on that one, even with the 9.5. There's so much more I can go on that game, but we ain't got time right now. Okay, Broncos and Panthers. This is another, so it's -10.5 Broncos. I took the Broncos. That's scary because Broncos, I believe, struggle to score at times, but their defense is for real. So I'm just going with a gut feeling there because the Panthers suck. You know, so the thing is, I think Bryce is playing today. I think the other quarterback got injured, car accident or something like that. If that's true, wouldn't it be weird if he came back and kind of had one of these, I don't know, had some time to think, learn some stuff on the sideline games, and then you got a big controversy because now he comes back and plays well, you know, what do you do? All I'm saying is it can't hurt. Nothing's been going well for the Panthers. And 10.5 is a lot. They might be able to cover that, but I do not think they'll win, and I'm still taking the Broncos with the negative 10.5. Okay, Bears, Washington. Bears -3. Daniels is playing. I didn't think he was going to, and I picked this game before I knew that, but I'm still going to stick with the Bears. They're coming off a bye. I have no idea how good the Bears are this year, but I believe in Caleb Williams. I have my reasons for that because I doubted him in college. I will talk about that someday. He made a fool out of me. Didn't think he was going to be what he is. But I changed my mind in his last year of college. And I think he's going to go on to do great things in the NFL. One thing changed my mind with him. So his biggest problem is he got drafted into the worst division that you can get drafted into. This division is going to be good. Minnesota's good too. So this division is going to be good, and it's going to be good for a long time. And that's pretty much the biggest problem that he has, because the Bears seem to be a pretty decent team. Okay. Cowboys and Niners. So if you didn't see my last take, I had a one-sided conversation with Jerry Jones. Thought it was pretty funny. If you guys want to go back and look at it, go on YouTube, look up ELKWOOD Sports. That's 2 words, guys. ELKWOOD Sports. Look at some of my last takes. On a lot of these takes, I like to have fun. That's what sports are about. But we actually go into how I don't think the Cowboys are as in bad of shape as most people are saying. And that's after they came off a 47-9 ass beating. But I almost took them in this game. I took the Niners to cover on 4.5, partly because of number 54. As long as he's playing for the 49ers, I'm sorry, he's one of the best defensive players in all of football. But at his position, he's got to be the best. There's a couple people that probably can argue that, but for my money, that one person made the difference on taking the Niners. Because I believe if the Cowboys, somebody this week said something about mucking the game up. That's what the Cowboys need to do. Now, I like that, except that when I hear mucking a game up, what I think of is like a low-scoring game. Like you make it sloppy, you win a game 13-10. That's not what the Cowboys have to do. To me, the Cowboys have to sell out for the run, which means you're going to get burnt on the pass, especially with Purdy. You're probably going to take a few deep shots, and then you try and hold them to field goals while you score touchdowns and you pull out a game that's 38-35. That, to me, is the only way Dallas could win. Now, I know they activated Cook. Maybe that'll help the running game, but you got to get CeeDee Lamb the ball in stride somehow. Somehow figure out a plan to get it, because if you get it to him in stride, it changes the whole ballgame, changes the whole way that you run your offense. Getting 2 or 3 yards on first down with a run. Dak is a whole different quarterback from 2nd and 7 as opposed to like 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11. Little things they have to do. Ball control, time control. I mean, just the whole 9 yards, and Dak has to have the game of his life. That's to beat a Niners team that is 3-4 and decimated all over the place. That's how far you guys have fallen. But you have the talent there where you can muck up some games, and actually, you're 3-3. You go 4-3, things are looking up. I don't know. I have to look at the 3rd round because I really thought you guys would go for Blake Corum in the 3rd round. I don't know if you were around him or if he was even on your radar. But to me, that's a back that would have fit in your system well. I really do. So I will take the 49ers at -4.5. Now let's go to Monday night. Steelers fans, I love you. I've said I've loved you all year long. Love the way you travel. Love how loud you are. Good for you on the win last week with Russ. I don't think Russ is we'll see. You guys are going to make the playoffs, I'm sure. But I don't think you're going to do anything in the playoffs as Russ is with your quarterback. something's going to have to change for me because some of those passes last week, his receiver is amazing. That was adjustments by him. Some of those passes were 50-50 balls, and his receiver was just better. We'll see. Maybe a couple games under the belt, and I'll change my mind. I know you were having trouble passing the ball with Fields, but I just felt that run complex game was harder to, or I guess would match up better with other teams. Other teams that I think can win the Super Bowl with Fields in as a runner. But I could be wrong. I mean, Russ had a good game. We'll see what happens. I got you beating the Giants, but that's not saying much. Sorry, Giants, but they're -6, and I will take the Steelers. So there we go. Now, and again, realize that I'm not very good at this. So don't take any of these and run out and make your bets with them. Now I'm going to come in. I was going to talk about NBA right after this, but I think I'll wait till tomorrow, give it one more day. So we will be coming back to talk NBA tomorrow. But I can't wait for today. Week 10, week 8, once we get to 10 games left, that's when we can make a lot more predictions of what's going to happen in the playoffs. Who can beat the, Chiefs? Right now I've got 4 or 5 teams in the playoffs that can beat them. Regular season's different, and still nobody's beat them. That's scary. All right, folks. I don't think there's anything I need to apologize for today. But as always, we do like to have fun here. And just remember, sports are meant to be fun. Take it with a grain of salt. And sports bring us all together, guys. Sunday football day. God, I can't wait. All right. So if you want to check out other episodes, go to ELKWOOD Sports, 2 words, at YouTube. And about the last 4 or 5, I think are pretty good. A little humor in there. And we'll see you tomorrow and talk some NBA. How's that sound? All right. Till next time.